Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Numalisa Maisarah binti Muhammad Rizwan, PC 25093, and today I will be presenting about the regenerative logistic management, which is becoming increasingly important in modern supply chain, as companies are expected not only to be efficient but also responsible for the environment and society. So let's move to the issue. If we look at today's situation, we are facing serious issues like climate change, pollution, and increasingly waste. What many people don't realize is that supply chain actually contributes a lot to these problems, especially through transportation and resources usage. For example, logistic activities produce high carbon emission, and many products end up as waste after use. So this raises an important question: can logistics become a part of the solution instead of problem? To understand this, we need to know what regenerative means. Regenerative means to restore, repair, and improve something so that it becomes better over time. So in logistics, it is not just about reducing damage, but about improving the system itself. This means companies are not only trying to be less harmful, but they are trying to create a positive impact on the environment and society. There are three main approaches in logistics. First, traditional, sustainability, and regenerative. So I'm going to explain about the traditional first. Traditional logistics focus mainly on cost and speed, where the goal is to deliver product as fast as cheaper as possible. So for sustainable logistics, improve this by trying to reduce harm, for example by lowering emission and reducing waste. However, regenerative logistics goes one step further. It focuses on improving the system and creating positive outcomes. This is why it is considered a more advanced and future-oriented approach. Let's move on the key elements. To make regenerative logistic work, there are several important elements. One of the key elements is the circular supply chain, where the products are reused, repaired, and recycled instead of being thrown away. This helps reduce waste and save resources. Another element is green transportation, where companies use more efficient delivery routes or eco-friendly vehicles to reduce fuel usage and emission. Renewable energy is also important. For example, using solar energy in warehouse. In addition, ethical sourcing ensures that materials are obtained in responsible and fair way. All these elements work together to create a more sustainable system. Next is technology. Technology plays a very important role in supporting regenerative logistics. For example, artificial intelligence (AI) helps companies analyze data and choose better delivery routes, which reduce fuel consumption. The Internet of Things (IoT) allows a real-time tracking of goods, so companies can monitor product conditions and reduce waste. Blockchain helps improve transparency by allowing companies to track where their material came from and ensure responsible sourcing. Overall, technology helps make logistic system smarter and more efficient. What I find most interesting about regenerative logistics is that it is not just about a system or process, but it actually requires a change in mindset. Many companies today still focus on short-term profit, but regenerative logistics push them to think long-term, especially in terms of environmental and social impact. This is very relevant to current issues like climate change and resources depletion, where simply reducing damage is not longer enough. For example, many industries are already trying to reduce carbon emission, but the problem is still getting worse. So, regenerative logistics offer a different approach, where companies not only reduce harm, but also actively improve the system, such as restoring resources and reducing overall waste. Another important point is collaboration. One company alone cannot achieve regenerative outcomes. It requires cooperation between supplier, manufacturer, logistic provider, customer, and even government. For example, customer needs to participate by returning product for reuse or recycling, while suppliers must follow ethical sourcing practices. In addition, regenerative logistics is not something that can be implemented once and considered complete. It requires continued improvement, where the companies keep adapting, innovating, and finding better ways to cooperate. This makes it more challenging but also more meaningful in the long run. So, overall, regenerative logistics is not just an operation change, but a complete transformation in how companies think and action, especially in facing today's global environmental challenges. will move to the example real company, which is Patagonia. Patagonia is the company encourage customer to repair and reuse product instead of buying a new ones. Customer can return used item to repair, which help reduce waste and supports a circular system. This shows that regenerative logistics is not just a theory, but something that can be applied in a real business situation. So, in conclusion, regenerative logistics is more than just a concept. It is a future approach that helps companies improve performance while also protecting the environment. In my opinion, if more companies adopt this approach, logistics can shift from being a part of the problem to becoming part of the solution. That's all for me. Thank you.